Geordies, welcome back to another episode. I thought, let's get back to doing scout reports, and there's two midfielders I want to talk about. We're going to be speaking about one in this episode and one in the next episode. You might not have heard about them because one's 19 and one's only 17, but they've been absolutely exceptional this season for their respected clubs. And one's only had 25 senior appearances, but I actually think it's worthwhile investing in them now, putting your stocks in them now so he can grow into a future star, because our midfield is already quite good. Actually, it's already excellent. So we don't actually need somebody to come in and replace our midfield. We just need to add midfield depth, somebody that's young, hungry, enthusiastic, wants to learn, very good at the job at the moment, and also can learn from our midfield three right now. And there is a player I've got in mind. In fact, there's two, but we're going to start with this guy, Caleb Yirenkyi from Newcastle. So just as usual, guys, we're going to be breaking down his strengths, weaknesses, looking at a few statistics, but I'm also going to put a few video clips up for you to enjoy as well. So make sure you don't go anywhere and watch till the end, because I know this guy's had a good education. He's come out the best academy in Ghana and currently in the best academy in Denmark. He joined the Right to Dream Academy at the age of 11. Now, this academy's produced so many players, and so many excellent players have had this pathway into football where they begin at the Right to Dream Academy and then the transition to Newcastle, and then that's where they spread the wings and go out to different elite clubs around Europe. You've only got to look at Mohamed Kudus, who joined Ajax and then West Ham, Simon Adringa, who's currently at Brighton, Ibrahim Osman, who's at Brighton, Ernest Nuama, who's at Lyon, Mohamed Diomande, who's at Rangers now, Nagala, who's just went to PSV, who I actually think will be Ryan Flamingo's replacement. So there's many top African players that have had this pathway into football, and I just know from people I've spoke to that these educate their players both mentally on the pitch but also off the pitch as well. So he joined the Right to Dream Academy at the age of 11. Once he turned 18 in 2024, that gave him the license to go out and join Newcastle, which he did in March 2024. He's currently enjoying a breakthrough season and currently plays in the same system that Newcastle United play. He's one midfielder in a 4-3-3 system. Yirenkyi's playing style is a blend of physicality and technical finesse. He's known for covering a large amount of pitch, which is exactly what Eddie Howe likes, recycling the ball, applying relentless pressure on opponents, and contributing effectively both defensively and offensively. But I must say, physically and athletically, extremely impressive for a 19-year-old. Very important and dominant on the pitch. So firstly, we're going to look at his strengths, and what Eddie Howe wants in a midfielder is somebody that can do a bit of everything. They might excel at one certain aspect, but they can do a bit of everything. You look at Bruno, he can duel well, but he's also very technically good. Joelinton's more of a dueling monster, but he's also got that little bit of quality. It might not be exceptional, but he can hold on to the ball and distribute the ball very well. And then you've got Tonali, who's very much well-rounded, and that's exactly what you get with Yirenkyi. He has the ability to control games from the midfield, combined with his defensive prowess, ball retention, and the ability to carry the ball forward. He's made an indispensable impact for Newcastle this season. He's a well-rounded box-to-box midfielder. He's got a defensive and physical impact on the pitch, which is phenomenal. He's got athleticism. He covers a large amount of the ground. He plays with intensity, and his quality engagement anticipation levels. What I love about him, despite his inexperience and his young age, he's very happy to take the initiative in different situations. He might not always get it right, but he never shies away on a football pitch. He's got a high percentage of duels won, a very diverse defensive skill set, and he excels in retaining possession through a combination of interceptions, tackles, placing them in the 98th percentile among top 5 leagues in Europe for midfielders that have won back possession. That is absolutely crucial to what Newcastle United like to do, because they go to a man-to-man press. So you need to have a good anticipation, because you need to have a better speed of thought than your opponent, so you can read the game better. Therefore, you arrive to the ball a lot quicker than your opponent. But you also need to play with it. Intensity, have good interception rate and tackle rate, because Newcastle want to turn the ball over as early as possible, because the higher up the pitch you win the ball, the more likely you are of creating a better opportunity. And that's what Eddie Howe wants off the ball. So this would fit perfectly in everything Eddie Howe wants defensively from his midfielders. Now, there is a few more strengths I want to talk about. His versatility allows him to excel in many different midfield roles. So he's played on the right of the three, he's played centre of the three, and he's even played left of the three, making him a valuable asset in Nordsjælland's possession-based system. One of the most impressive attributes is his exceptional passing. He barely gives a ball away, and that's why he's got valuable ball retention skills. Now, there is a few improvements that we're going to be touching on, but his impressive statistics highlight his strengths, boasting a 91% pass accuracy from 584 pass attempts in just 712 minutes of football. He also sits 74% out for aerial duels won, averaging 1.4 aerial duels per 90. Exceptional at reading the game, physical strength, intensity, poise on the ball, and he's a box-to-box midfielder, which could be perfect for Newcastle United. Now, I'm absolutely not saying he's a finished article and he can just walk straight into the Premier League, because I generally don't believe he's ready to be relied upon in the Premier League. So there is weaknesses and cons. Some of the cons, he lacks experience at senior level. He's only made 25 senior appearances for Nordsjælland, so he's definitely not the finished article, and he would need a lot of coaching from Eddie Howe. But Eddie Howe knows how to get the best out of these players, knows how to improve weaknesses. The ball progression as a passer isn't noticeable yet. When he recycles possession, a lot of it's the safer option rather than taking the riskier option. And Newcastle United take risks in possession. That's why they're so decisive when they move the ball forward. And that's why they're so good at counter-attacking. So his vision from deep would need to improve. But that's understandable with few opportunities, smaller windows to look at his ball progression, because he hasn't played much minutes. The less time he's played, and probably a few nerves in there because he's just new to senior football. So hopefully over time, his pass selection in terms of taking more risks will improve. He's quite similar to Joelinton when it comes to final third, because he lacks that decisiveness in the final third when it comes to chance creation, but also shooting efficiency. I actually like his ball retention skills, and we're going to look at this individually very shortly. But at times he can hold on to the ball too long. Deciding the right time to release the ball would just level up his influence and progress in the play. Lack of concentration, few careless moments when he's overhitting a pass or underhitting a pass, leading to turnovers in crucial moments. And sometimes his positional awareness at times is all wrong, because sometimes he just wants to run. And I think he just wants to impress so much. He's just running everywhere, where sometimes you can just be disciplined. Just keep your shape, mark the space, close the space, and allow the opposition just to have the ball in when they're not really hurting you. And I think he needs to learn when to press, when not to press. So just a bit of positional discipline would need to be coached into him. But when you look at the statistics, I mean, this guy has been excelling on many different levels already, and it's quite impressive, because looking at these statistics, it's exactly what I pointed out. These goes to show he's not very good in terms of in the final third when it comes to chance creation, but when it comes to ball retentions, touches, defensive actions, possession won, aerial duel ones, he excels in all those departments. And I kind of feel like if you've got somebody like Bruno who can take on that responsibility of that creation responsibility, and you can just do it in certain moments, but it's not your key responsibility, he would be perfect for a Joelinton role, or even a Tonali role, even though those runs from deep, I don't think he's got it in him. But he has a bit more information on what his skill set's like. And if we start with these aerial duels, he's winning 60% of his aerial duels, which is absolutely phenomenal. His pass completion rate of 92% is extraordinary. Now, where he does lack is forward pass percentage. That's probably the lowest on the chart. So, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes his pass selection can improve. He needs to learn how to progress the play rather than just recycling possession in certain moments. When it comes to ball retention, ball carrying, dribbling, he's all exceptional. And probably his biggest quality is the ability to win duels. He wins the ball back relentlessly throughout the 90 minutes. But when I say he covers a large amount of pitch, this is what I mean. As you can see, there's more. He's got a 1% in every single area bar 2 corners. So he's touching the ball everywhere on the pitch. And I love this in a young midfielder. Like I say, when you're scouting at this level, it's not really about their technical ability. It's not really about can they receive the ball on the half turn. Yes, that has an element to it, but it's more about what they do in terms of their speed of thought. Are they hiding away in certain moments? Are they shown for the ball becoming an option in adversity? Do they want to take control of situations? And that's what I like about this boy. He has the initiative to take responsibility. But as you can see, most of his touches come in those central areas, but he gets involved in a lot of the play, and I love that in a midfielder. When it comes to ball carrying, as you can see, again, there's a wide pitch that he's receiving the ball and carrying the ball in. It's not just certain areas he likes to do it. He's comfortable in different departments, different scenarios, different situations on the pitch. And I think that's very impressive for somebody with just 25 senior appearances. He's happy to receive anywhere on the pitch. He becomes an option anywhere on the pitch. And he's got very good technical ability, comfortable in tight spaces, very good in open spaces. He carries a ball majority of the times, the off-forward carries, and that's a very good asset in a young midfielder. But this was the thing that impressed me the most about him. When I talk about elite ball retention skills, he's actually got it already. Look at his pass selection and 534 successful passes out of 584, which means he's only been unsuccessful with these passes 50 times in 25 games. That is absolutely exceptional. And as you can see, that image, it's pretty much red. The pitch is pretty much red. You've got to look closely to find the great unsuccessful passes. So I really do admire this. And as you can see, the majority of unsuccessful passes are in that final third. And this, what I'm saying, lacks that decisiveness. When you look at this end of the pitch, there are very few unsuccessful passes. So the ability to keep the ball in crucial moments in those lower parts where you need to be very, very accurate with your passes, because if you get a turnover in your own defensive third, then the opponents have got a bigger chance of scoring. So that's where you take your risks. Yes, he can be a little bit more decisive, a little bit more accurate in the final third, but that's a beautiful complexion with somebody with only 25 senior appearances. But look, I'm definitely not saying he's the finished article, because as you can see, there definitely is weaknesses to his game, and his all-round game definitely needs some refinement. But these are the players that we should be looking at, because we've got our spine to a team, and it works very well. Profiles, partnerships make a successful team, and we've already built our midfield three. It's now adding additions to complement those midfield three, with Lewis Miley coming through. If we can get somebody like Caleb Yirenkyi, that would be ideal for somebody to come in and learn from our midfield, learn the role, have a year under Eddie Howe, and maybe next year, yes, he can play a couple of cup games, come on late in games, and even play some Champions League games, because I know, well, I'm banking on us getting Champions League there, but European football games, should I say. It would be absolutely ideal from him. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you make of this player? Would you be excited if he came to St. James's Park, or do you think we need a bit more experience at this stage of our trajectory, this stage of our planning? Do we need a little bit more experience, or would you be happy to scout, bring in these players for minimal fees in order to spend more money elsewhere, like a right centre-back, like a right winger? Because if we can bring in extra midfielders, because I think somebody like him would cost between 12 and 15 million, and that would allow you to spend more money on actual positions that we do need to strengthen. The next video is going to be probably my favorite, most exciting player, and that's Joelinton Replacement. So stay tuned for that. And if you're excited for that, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button to support this channel if you've enjoyed this video. And until next time, away the lads.